with Ken Griffey Jr.
Bongo, right?
Oh yeah, and that has been a major cause. Again, what we've seen over the last 5.5, 6 years with doing the automatic reinsertion, a lot of times producers will only have one or two reinsertion areas, and I think that's where it causes a lot of problem because it's that waiting around and getting lit up when you go in. But if you have multiple reinsertion points on the field and the ability for as fast as a player can get to a reinsertion point, they tag in their back and play. That gives the player what they're wanting, which is playing. And we've noticed a very even ebb and flow, basically, of an event when players can go. You're going to have some players, like I've seen Cartel, talking about them. I've watched these guys get shot, eliminated at an event. They don't wait for medics or field search. These guys are hauling ass to their next reinsertion point, tag back in, and they're right back in the middle of things. Where you got others go, I'm taking my sweet ass time and going to walk to a flag station. So it just all depends on the players.
Cool. What do we have coming up for 2009 with TAW?
Okay, well, players have noticed over the last few years, we've had quite a few games on the books, especially when we had Travis Air Force Base and all that. So we had a plethora of events to choose from. This year we've tailored back some. We're going to be adding a few more before the season is over. But currently we have 6 events scheduled for 2009 starting on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of February at Combat Zone, which is just north of Sacramento in Oroville. It's called Malice and Bunkerland, the Mad Hatter's Ball. We'll be going from there up to Oregon to Hosking Field, which is in Lebanon, Oregon, for our Looney's Tunes, our Tunes Gone Wild. Follow that back at Combat Zone on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of May. As some of you may not know, a few years back we did a mech game in which myself came up with the concept of building mechs for paintballs. Hooked up with a great guy, Tony Sweet, Tony and his wife Holly, as well as you, Ryan, and a handful of others. We were able to build some mechs for paintball. We're bringing that event back in May. Then our next thing we're going to be doing is our Wilson Challenge 2009. That's on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of June. This is a concept that we created about 4.5 years ago. It's a type of competition in which I bring in myself and a handful of veterans from the military to step in and just have a lot of fun with that one. Then we're going to be doing Saigon Fury When Twilight Falls on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of August out of Lebanon, Oregon. And then we'll be back in Oregon on October 23rd, 24th, and 25th of October for Army of Darkness, Pain in the Ash. I figured you would like that one, Ryan.
Nice.
So, yeah, we just have had a lot of things going. We get contacted by fields, and what we're kind of doing different, instead of just automatically when a field contacts us to do events, instead of just jumping on it right away to do it, we're actually looking at if it's going to be feasible to do it, because what we don't want to do is give so many choices to players that they don't know what to choose. So, and plus some other producers and stuff have wanted an opportunity to put games on in this area, and they felt that they didn't have that opportunity because we had so many games. So this is us basically going, okay, guys, let's open this up and give the best from all the producers to all the players.
It's beautiful. I mean, so especially with the economy and the changing of all this stuff that's going on, it's, you have to evolve or die, it seems to be. And paintball has been an evolving sport since its inception of taking some guns that were used to shoot cows and decided to shoot each other and all sorts of other stuff. So where do you see, coming from where you've been, where you are today, where do you see paintball in the future, scenario or whatnot?
Right. Well, paintball as a whole, obviously everybody is seeing a major rift in it. We're watching, because of the way the economy and the housing market is, entertainment or hobbies or sports are usually the first thing to take a hit because players just can't afford to do it. And so what's happening is we're watching, from small little mom and pop shops on up to big conglomerate, industrial businesses and stuff within paintball starting to crumble. Just recently, we've heard of other big organizations within paintball file for bankruptcy and stuff like this. So you hit it on the head when it comes to paintball as a whole has got to evolve, and it's not evolving or needs to evolve. Let's see how fast we can make the markers, and how big and obnoxious. The point is, how can we get it back to the way it was? Just 3 and 4 years ago, it was fairly affordable for a player to go play 4, 5, 6 events a year, or go drop $500 to $1,000 on multiple pieces of equipment. We've seen stuff like big games stepping up, where they're not scenario based; they're just usually one-day big games. They kind of have a scenario theme to it, but it's just really generic. That's been good for the market. We've seen some changes in the tournament stuff. We've seen organizations like the SPPL stepping up, trying to make a hybrid between scenario and tournament. You have the MilSim movement happening more so, hence why, like, for us, it's real sim. And I think that if collectively, if the different companies, as well as the producers and the players alike, kind of take a step back and sit and look and work together and communicate with each other, we'll be able to find solutions that will better our sport. Because the way it's going now, if collectively, especially here on the West Coast, if we don't start working as a united front, then it'll eventually crumble and go away. The West Coast has seen a handful of producers come in here on the West Coast. Majority of those producers have either gone away or started to pull away. And when players on the West Coast look at the East Coast and go, hey, why are their games so big, or why is there much involvement? It's because they're working together, where we seem to, on the West Coast, seem to kind of be more individualistic rather than as a community.
It's true. I mean, and it's great that we were we talked with Sean Walker about a month ago or so, and people were really angry at him for what they perceived he did to Pacific Paintball and to the NPPL and to the sport as a whole. But that was a real shock to him, and he came on, and I came on expecting a real defensive person, and that, having to, confront all these allegations against him and stuff, and he said, hey, no, I'm doing my own thing now. The thing that I'm starting now, the RPL, that's all about bringing it back to the basics,
Right.
It's going to be a very local, very small, people who have never done a tournament before. That's what it's all about. It's all about the kids that play for the first time who get addicted to it, and those other people who might have played before now coming back and go, I remember playing paintball a while ago. Is it still as fun as I remember? And bringing them back into the fold,
Right. Well, with going like that, in fact, you used a phrase really well, and it's something we called one of our events, back to basics. And what we've been trying to do is tailor things back. Like perfect example, last year, for the last season, we went ahead and did a pump-only scenario. Players all over, hey, we want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do this. So we went ahead and did it, and we had groups of, some of the members from Psycho Clown Posse had come up and played, and what was cool, everything was tailored back. Everybody was almost on the same even keel with the type of marker. Everybody came in with a good attitude. That was one of the first events we have ever had in these 6 years, or that I've seen in the past decade, that there were zero issues. There was absolutely no people screaming about cheating, nobody, screw you, people getting up in each other's face. And I think that's a change too, because the players are wanting less stress and drama, at least on the scenario side. And so when they get to be given an event or a game to where it brings everything a little bit more calmer, makes them think a little more, I think they're starting to have more fun.